Hello, 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 hello. So we are continuing with the Women of Influence Summit 2021. I am your host, Kimberly Lawson of Lawson Learning Academy. I'm just so excited that you are watching these interviews and participating in this summit because it is jam-packed with nuggets that are perfect for any business-minded woman, any business-minded man, anyone who is aspiring to that. So just thank you so much for participating and watching these interviews. I promise you, you need pen and paper for every last one because it is full of nuggets that you will benefit from. So I'm excited right now because I have with me Miss Lisa McGrath. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Kimberly. Thank you for having me. Excited to
Oh my
be here.
goodness. How are you doing?
The new year is just fabulous. Thank you. I'm just excited. My programs are doing well. I have clients that are doing well, and I'm just so hopeful for the new year.
That is wonderful. I love the positivity. I'm an energy person. Positive energy is wonderful because we know that energy can never be created nor destroyed, merely transferred. And so I like when people transfer their positive energy to me.
Yes, yes, yes. So for years, I've always said, you know how boredom is contagious? Somebody yawns, and so is enthusiasm. And so when you're passionate about what you do, you're passionate, that's contagious as well.
Yes, yes, absolutely love it. So quickly tell the attendees of the Women of Influence Summit 2021 a little bit about you.
Okay, so I'm a coach, I'm a life coach. And I say life coach because it's personal and professional. I help those people that want to achieve their goals, achieve them, to accomplish them. And so my whole coaching practice is based on my pilgrimages across the northern part of Spain, the Camino de Santiago, and the lessons that I learned. And so I took those lessons, I took my experiences, and my education, and I created a program that really helps people achieve the intentional life they should be living. And so now I have a program called Achieve with Unlimited Laser Focused Coaching. And like I said, I've had some major breakthroughs with clients, and I'm so hopeful for the new year. I can't wait to see what it brings. I'm also pretty grateful that they trust me to be a part of their journeys. So it's incredibly fun and rewarding.
Well, that is wonderful. That's wonderful. So tell us, how did you know entrepreneurship was for you?
Well, I think it was because I don't want to say I had a trouble with authority, but I also wanted to be my own boss. I didn't want someone to be the boss of me. And that's what had happened to me as a child. All the adults were the boss of me. I wasn't allowed to speak unless I was spoken to. Children were supposed to be seen and not heard. When I told my favorite high school teacher that I wanted to be a playwright, I wanted to be a writer, he said, no. He said, Lisa, you have lofty dreams. You're a girl. You're a woman. You're going to get married and have children. That's your job. So I did. But then I realized that there was still something in me that needed to come out. And it was in 2015 that the opening really was cemented for me. I had a practice outside the internet, but in 2015, I had an emergency open heart surgery, and I had made a bargain with God. And I said, if I survive, I will make my message, and I will help others achieve their intentional life. And so I followed the God whispers and took my practice online, which was scary because before I could hide behind the name of my business. By taking my business online, I realized that I couldn't just hide behind a house with 4 rooms or a pilgrimage to self or pages with purpose. I had to show my face. I had to share my name. And so since I have created these programs and I've stepped out for visibility and I've allowed my name to be attached to them, my business has just flourished. And so it was a matter of trusting and allowing. And so it's been a process.
That's interesting. Your story about being told that your purpose is to get married and have kids and things like that. I had something similar, not quite the same, when I was in eighth grade, and to sit you down to register you for high school. And at the time, there were different majors: college prep, vocational, and they had a general education one. And I recall the guidance counselor telling me that I should do vocational because it was less math, and that I could take like the child care class or something. And I already had high school credit. I had already taken 2 high school classes in middle school, but this guidance counselor didn't know that. And so I'm so, glad that you along the way have found, your true purpose and passion outside of, just giving birth and things like that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but there's more power in women than that. What, in your opinion, why are women powerful?
Well, women are powerful because, first of all, they're not listening to those guidance counselors anymore. They're not being pigeonholed into a box, right? And categorized. We're allowed to be multifaceted. Yes, we can be a wife, we can be a mother, we can be a daughter, but we can also wear the hat of businesswoman. We can do whatever our hearts desire. Because once we have that thought and we create those feelings of what that would be like, we can take the actions. We can take the actions to make it happen. So when I was told, have children, get married, have children, college wasn't even mentioned. It wasn't even mentioned that that would be an opportunity for me. And when I had my parents and the teachers and even my pastor tell me that that was my job and that I wasn't good enough, I would never make it past high school, and all of those naysayers, I became an overachiever and I wanted to prove them wrong. And so I went to school and I ended up getting 4 degrees. It doesn't have to be that way. We can wear the hats that we're meant to wear, and we can be excellent at all of them. And one of the things I've learned as a recovering perfectionist is that we're not perfect, but we can really be excellent. And so we choose that. And when we choose to be excellent, we choose to do what's necessary to make our intentional life happen. So if it's to start our business, then we're going to think with the end in mind, and we're going to take those steps that will get us to the opening the doors of our business. That's why we're powerful. We can do it all.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of my I guess you could say like anthem is that Beyonce song, who run the world? I mean, who runs the world? It is women. Women are powerful. We do more than give forth life, because birthing children is great, but then also helping other people to build a life.
Yeah. Well, it's
And
because
train.
I think, Kimberly, I think most women realize that we don't have to hoard what we have, those gifts. We don't have to keep them, but by sharing them and encouraging, inspiring, and having an impact on others. I always describe it like taking that stone and dropping it into the water and those ripples that come out. That's what happens. And so I think women have realized that they can extend what they already have, making it grow by helping someone else.
Yes. Yes, I completely agree. So, Lisa, I know that one of the things that you are passionate about is self-care, about the importance of self-care. And as business women, we are very busy, because we have multiple hats that we're wearing inside of our business and outside of our business. Why is self-care important?
Okay. So I follow the philosophy, I teach this of the Indian proverb, a house with 4 rooms. So imagine yourself as being 4 rooms. You have a physical, a mental, an emotional, and spiritual room. Now, the proverb tells us that We need to go in each of these 4 rooms daily to be a complete person. Now, think about that for a minute. There are some people that are stuck in their emotional room. They don't want to go out and they don't even want to get out of bed. They put the covers over their head. Well, the proverb cautions us we can't spend all of our time in one room over another. We have to go in all 4 every day, even if it's to open a window and air it out. So, what does that mean? That means you have to take care of your core self. You need to do your physical room. For your physical room, we're talking about not only your physical body. What are you eating? What movement, what exercise are you doing? What are you thoughts are you having? Monitoring that is so important, but it's also your physical space. Where do you live? Okay. Then we have to go in to our mental room. That's intellectual. What am I learning? What am I doing? Again, what am I thinking? Right? Then we go in to our emotional room. That's a hard one for a lot of people because we put up walls and we deny ourselves, we deny others, and we make it more difficult than it needs to be. Again, go back to your thoughts. Okay? Go back to your thoughts because they lead to your feelings. You have a choice. You can reframe your thoughts, learn from your experiences, and then change those feelings and change your actions. So, your emotional room. How do you cope? How do you learn to cope? Rather than having a knee-jerk reaction to things, when you have a practice, like I have a breathing practice that I do, but I also have a meditation practice. And because they have become foundational to me, I could go to those first before I go to the knee-jerk reaction. So I choose how I want to respond. And then the last room is your spiritual room. And this one here is one of my most important rooms. As I told you earlier, I made a bargain with God. I am led by God. And so my path is illuminated. I live my life in such a way that I want it to be for the best and highest good. Prayer practice, meditation, my spiritual readings that I do. It all provides my foundation. So if you're visiting those 4 rooms, everything that you do spills over into the other areas of your life. But when you're building your house on a solid foundation, you have more not only to sustain you, but you have more to take with you into the future. So a house with 4 rooms, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Go into each one of those rooms daily. Take care of yourself inside as well as on the outside.
Yes, 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 yes. So we know that worldwide right now, we are living through this pandemic, and so self-care is not necessarily something that's at the forefront of everyone's mind. It's about surviving the pandemic. And as a life coach, what are you seeing that are the biggest struggles that business women and business men have right now as far as taking care of themselves? Which of the 4 rooms are you noticing that people are struggling to go into during this pandemic?
Great question. I'm seeing that people are having trouble with time management. So they're not even going into their rooms or they're spending too much time in their individual rooms. Because we're working from home oftentimes during this pandemic, our personal life and our professional life are melding together and we're not finding a purposeful balance. We're taking that work home with us. So we need to think about that. And that will really affect our emotional rooms. Because when we get stressed out and we're overworked, we're overtired, sometimes we take those emotions and they can come out maybe in words and responses to other people, to our children, our mate, and we don't want that. We want to make sure that we're living an example that they can follow so that we're taking care of ourselves. We're balancing, we're working on our foundation. So I would say the emotional room is the room that people are struggling with right now because they're worried. They're worried about the unknown. They're worried about their finances. They're worried about their future. They're worried about their children's education. Right now, people are saying that there's a major gap in education for this young generation. As the adults, we're responsible. How we treat and live today is how we will live and treat ourselves tomorrow. So we really want to make sure that we're taking care of our emotional selves.
So what is your advice? Give us like one thing that most anyone can do to deal with those emotions, to deal with that worry.
Okay, so to deal with that worry, to deal with those emotions, one thing is to have routines. I'm all about systems, habits, routines, and rituals. Get out of bed, have a morning ritual, habits that you do. For myself, that means not only do I want to take care of myself physically, brushing my teeth and shower, I also do my spiritual practice. I make sure that I've done my readings, I've done my meditations, I've done my practices, and then I set my intention for my day so that I do accomplish what I need to and I feel good about myself. There's an intrinsic value when you are able to check your items off your to-do list, but we get overwhelmed when our to-do list is so long and we don't realize we don't have a plan. So I take the time to make a plan and I call it my top three. What are my top three things that I must do today to move the needle? To move the needle in my personal life, to move the needle in my professional life. And I concentrate on getting those top three things done so that I feel good. And typically, I'm going to be honest, I get so excited because I love what I do that I'm able to build on that momentum and I can get so much more done and accomplish. So if you're feeling stressed out, if you're feeling worried, set up those routines, change your habits, make sure that you have those rituals that will lift you up rather than sink you down.
Yes, yes, that is great advice about the routine. I recently moved, and one of the things that has now become my routine is actually physically getting up, getting dressed for the day, whether I'm going anywhere or not, getting up, getting dressed, and I'm able to enjoy my coffee and have my silent time because I thrive on silence. And so I have kind of just a little bit before everything starts, before the kids start asking for things, I have that silence to kind of collect my thoughts, get one with myself first before I am now one with the world.
That's terrific. I just want to add something. I've done an awful lot of research because I've been doing some writing, and one of the things that I've researched is about children and school right now and the effects that are happening. Do you know that for the students, and most of our students are learning from online uh, or hybrid, but mostly there's some kind of distance education involved. It's those students that get up in the morning and have a routine of eating, brushing their teeth, and getting dressed, and then going in front of their computer to get their work done, that are achieving so much more than the kids that are, oh, this is winter break, or this is, no official bells ringing, so I'm on holiday. So if you have children at home and you'd like to make sure that they succeed, now the schools will be open again, now that winter break is over, the holidays, make sure that they have a routine. Make sure that they are getting up and getting dressed, even if they're not going out anywhere. Make sure that they're prepared to be successful, that's the intention for the day.
Yes, absolutely. That's great advice. I see that as an educator. I can tell the kids who have that routine of getting up in the morning and getting dressed versus those who stay in bed and they just click on Zoom from underneath the covers. It makes a big difference. So, Lisa, tell me, what is one thing that you know now with your years of experience as an entrepreneur that you wish you had known when you first started?
So I think if I'm going to say one thing, is that it doesn't have to be perfect, that you just got to get it going. Okay. We're not perfect. I'm a recovering perfectionist. If I had my way, I would never do anything, put the book out there, put the website together, offer my coaching programs because it's not perfect. And I want to be seen as perfect. No, it's not perfect. Get it going, learn as you go, and trust yourself. So that's what I wish someone had told me that years ago.
Yes, trust yourself, trust your intuition. And I am a firm believer that done is better than perfect. I periodically send that to one of my coaching clients, just as a reminder, because I'm trying to get her to be a recovering perfectionist. She gets locked into that, and I'll just send that text: done is better than perfect. Let's go, let's move. So tell us, what's one tool for your business that you just have to have? It can be an electronic, a book, it can be a person, but what's one thing for your business you must have?
My calendar, my planner. So each year, I plan out my big rocks. I teach about the big rocks, and so my big rocks are those big things, those big dreams that I want. Those go on my calendar right away throughout the whole year. Then what I do is I work with what are my other things I want to accomplish, and I get those marked out. Again, I work with the end in mind. And so in the morning, I get up and I set my intentions for the day. I pick my top three. I find those top three with my calendar. So my personal and professional calendar is commingled so that I can take care of all these, especially now with the Zoom meetings. I can show up. I know where I'm supposed to be. And so that's real important. So my my yearly planner, my planner is probably my number one tool.
So is this like an actual planner that you write in? Is it like a file of facts or something? Or do you use a digital planner?
Okay, so for Pilgrimage to Self, my coaching program, I developed a planner that helps my clients because we follow the philosophy of house with four rooms. So I wanted them to keep track of what they were eating and drinking and their exercise. I wanted them to keep track of what they were doing because action is going to make progress, right? And so if when we see it, we think it, when we're writing it down and we internalize it, we make things happen. So I have a planner that I developed. I can customers, the clients can print it out, or which I printed mine out because I'm old school and I like to write it. But you can also use the computer and do it that way. And one of the things that I've learned is that by taking in the Google calendars and putting them all together, that allows me to see everything at a glance. I can do that with my phone or even my Alexa. She'll tell me what my schedule is each day. So again, it's being organized, organizing your time. We have the same 24/7 that famous people had: Leonardo da Vinci, Einstein, Helen Keller. You've heard that before. What are you doing with your 24 hours? Well, if you're not planning, if you're not intentional, those days, those weeks and months, years can disappear from you. I know this. I've lived it. So stay organized, have a schedule, and be intentional.
That's great advice. That's great advice. I have multiple planners. I'm a planner person. I have been carrying around a planner probably since sixth grade. It helps me. I like to know what I'm doing, writing it down. It reinforces it in my mind. And that is, it's a valuable tool. So I do love that, especially that you are still writing things down because, sometimes electronics fail us. Sometimes things like that happen. So, Lisa, For someone right now who's watching this interview that is thinking about starting a business, what is your advice?
Do it. Do it. Get yourself organized. Think with the end in mind. Figure out what the steps are and what you need to do, and then intentionally put them on your calendar. Start a date. Pick a date. So if you want to start a membership, an online membership, when are you launching? What's your date? If you want to write a book, well, what are you writing about? Get a writing coach. Do you want to open a brick and mortar store? Where are you going to be? Do you, do you need employees? Think about these major pieces, but get them done. Get them done.
Yes, yes, that's wonderful. That's wonderful advice. So, Lisa, tell us one book that you have read multiple times that helps you as far as your business practices or just with day to day life. What's one book that you've read multiple times that just had an impact on you?
Okay, so the first one, the answer is going to be the Bible. Okay, but let's go away from that one. Probably a book that people wouldn't think about, especially when we're talking about business, is Mitch Albom's Tuesdays with Morrie. Tuesdays with Morrie is a book that Mitch Albom wrote with his college professor, Morrie Schwartz. And it really gets to the meaning of life. And I think when I read that book, and I've read it so many times since it was published in in the 90s, and I've taught that book. There are three major things that come to my mind, and that's probably why I really love it, because it was the same philosophy I already lived my life by. One, you have to learn to forgive. And when I say that, it's forgive everyone, love everyone, including yourself. Number two, you have to live a life of meaning and purpose. So find out what your purpose is and make sure that your life aligns with that purpose. Share your gifts. Number three, give back to your community. How are you going to give back to your community? And for me, not only do I hop on and do as many interviews and share as much as I can, it's also within my writing, my blog, my books. I want to share the wisdom and I call them stepping stones for pilgrimage stuff. They're stepping stones because others can use those same stones. People have been on the path before you. Use their wisdom, use their understanding, use their knowledge to help you grow. And so Tuesdays with Morrie is probably a book that many other people that you interview might not bring up as a business book. But again, I think it went to the heart of my business. And so it affected me the most.
And I love that it's very authentic to you. You know, everything doesn't have to fit into a particular box when we're talking about business. That's the beauty of being an entrepreneur. You get to build a business that is authentic to you and your personality and your passions and your purpose. And so you're not worried about fitting into anyone else's box. So I love that.
Yeah. And that's how you find your tribe. Because someone once said, one of my clients, she was starting a business and pink, bright pink was her color. And someone gave her a lot of trouble about her website, about her Facebook social media posts, and all about this pink, and said it doesn't look professional. And she's like, people won't like that. And that's when I said, you know what? Then those aren't your people. Then those are not your people. And that's okay. Not everyone's going to be your people. You want to serve the clients that are your clients.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know, there is, so I live in Georgia, and outside of Macon, one of the exits that I get off on 475, there is it a plumbing company or it might be an exterminator? But as soon as you get off of the exit on 475, you see all of these pink vans, pink trucks, the building is pink, and it is ran by a guy. And that was part of his branding. I'm sure he had some naysayers when he talked about it, but I mean, you would not expect it's literally a monster truck, like the truck you see with the big tires. It's a
Mhm.
big monster truck that is painted pink with his logo on it. And you see that everywhere. And so, that's the beauty of it. You build something that works for you because your clients and customers will find you because that to them will be welcoming. It's not going to be off putting. You know, she just find her clients that love pink. They're going to be very happy to be covered in her branding with lots of pink.
That's right. She has pink and she has butterflies, and that's okay. It's transformation, and that's who she is. And after getting to know her, like I said, that's who she is. The company that you're talking about, they did terrific because now you know who they are. You recognize their branding. And that's one of the things as entrepreneurs. We want people to know, like, and trust us. People are going to know that pink truck coming down the street where it came from.
Yes, they will. Absolutely. And like I said, I can't even remember the name of the business, but I remember seeing that pink monster truck. And whenever I get off on the exit, I know that I'm going to see it. So even, like at night, I can still see that pink monster truck sitting right there off the exit. So it is beautiful. It's beautiful. So, Lisa, I just want to say thank you again for agreeing to be a part of the Women of Influence Summit 2021. I've had so much fun talking to you. I know everyone watching this, I hope you were taking notes. It was full of nuggets. It was full of nuggets. And if you would like to know more about Lisa and all the things that she do and how to connect with her, be sure to check the notes with this video posted so that you are able to connect with her. So Lisa, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure. I've enjoyed this time.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it too.
All right, so everyone, continue enjoying the Summit Women of Influence 2021. All of the interviews are full of nuggets. You need that pen and paper. I'm sure this page is full. After hearing Lisa, flip over and continue watching. And just thank you so much for being an attendee.